Hello, I'm back in my college's community room to review Fantastica Days 5 and 6. Before I start going over the matches, the results, the storyline slash booking implications, I would like to talk about how I'm trying to change up the format just a little bit to make the videos a little bit more enjoyable to watch. When I first went thinking about doing reviews like this, I was thinking about, it'd be cool if I put in clips so you see what I'm talking about. Everyone loves seeing clips, you get to see the favorite parts of the matches again. But I was thinking, oh wait, Real Neat Puro and Showbuckle, they got their channels taken down full stop because they're using clips. And in that case, I was kind of like, shouldn't you, I know it's still illegal for them to use their clips, but they're helping promote the product. Unlike those highlight videos that are just literally just cutting down your matches and uploading them. They don't take those down. There's still plenty of them up. Or maybe they'll take them down eventually. They're kind of slow to things. But anyways, I didn't want to end up like that, and I didn't want to take that risk. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to use still images because that's kind of lame. Well, in my eyes, I wouldn't just want to do that. So I kind of went from I got the idea from just in the lower right hand, you're right, on the video, there's going to be like a small little picture-in-picture of seeing, clips from the match. And they're definitely not going to get picked up by Content ID, and hopefully, Bushi Road's legal team doesn't see it and come kill my channel. Also, if you have anything to say from commenting on my ignorance to the character of the CMLL to the lighting of this video, which I know is kind of flawed, but I don't have much control over right now. Or if you just want to comment to further the discussion down in the comments section, you want me to expand more on my points, there's probably not going to be anything really ingenious said here about these shows. But if you want to talk about these shows more in the comments, you want to ask me a question or two that I can answer on the next review, I'll be down to do that. I love that. If you did that, I thank you if you're planning on doing that. I'm just trying to get better and smarter, and I can only do that with feedback. I edit and watch so many of my own videos, I don't even know if it's good or bad anymore. So anything at this point would be much appreciated. But anyways, after watching these shows, and this being my first time watching Fantastica Mania, even though I've been watching New Japan for a couple years now, I just have this one question of, how do these shows further any narrative or anything when it comes to New Japan or CMLL, but I'm more focused on New Japan. And the answer right now with the first three shows that they streamed is not much. We know that Taiji is going to challenge for the IC title at the New Beginning shows. Taiji was on one show out of the first three. He might be on the last two. I haven't checked the cards yet. So nothing has gone far forward with Naito since New Year's Dash. Tanahashi hasn't been on any shows yet. I know he's going to be for the last show, maybe the last two actually. CMLL storylines, I really don't know what was going into this, and it seemed like if I was a CMLL fan, there is stuff here to draw on, like certain people getting pins over other people, or people doing cheap shots and stuff. There is one storyline that has been getting furthered. Is that even a word? That has been getting more progression, if they're going in this direction, is Taguchi versus Ishimori. That might happen for the junior weight tag belts, or for 3-man tag belts. I mean, junior weight tag belts. Fuck. Sorry, I'm very tired right now. I just wanted to say I think Taguchi and Ishimori are gonna clash in some form or fashion, and I don't know yet because I haven't looked at the New Beginning cards. But that seems like one thing that's getting moved forward. But besides that, in terms of any story progression, there's not much for New Japan. These shows, I guess they're not really meant to be a New Japan showcase. They're meant to be a CMLL showcase. So, that's fine. But they're shows nonetheless, and they're all New Japan World. So I watched them, and here's my general thoughts on the show: is that it's the same thing as the first one. They're good. There's fun wrestling. There's a bunch of fantastic dives, fucking fantastic dives, that legitimately breathtaking stuff, because I don't watch them regularly, so it's a surprise to me. There was also a couple of really good matches in this first three stream shows. But a lot of stuff that you just didn't need to see is basically up to this point been all house show matches, which gives credence to the fact that I haven't watched these shows before, and if it wasn't for me trying to review shows on YouTube, I wouldn't watch these either. But I do know in these last two shows they're gonna do some notable things, but so far these shows are not notable. There's good matches, and there's not a single bad match. There's been some sloppy wrestling for some parts, some missed spots, but these have been good matches. The average show I've been given a 7, which is good in my rating or whatever. I don't really like saying the ratings. I think that's kind of tacky, and I don't like to leave everything up to ratings, but anyways, I'm sorry for rambling. Let's just get on with day 5. The show was streamed on the 16th. There were 7 matches. It was the beginning of the family tag team tournament. And at first I'm like, families, what does that mean? Is that another horrible mistranslation? But no, it's families in CMLL. Like, they're really, the tag team partners are actually related to my understanding. So like Dragon Lee is really related to Mystico. That was his partner? I'm pretty sure that was his partner. So they're like cousins, I believe. And like every tag team in the tournament are related to some, like nephew or uncle or something like that. So that's cool. And I was interested in it at first because Atlantis and Atlantis Jr. were in it, I believe, and they lost in the first round. So I don't care about the tournament anymore. So they didn't win, and I really was interested in that. But no, the matches on this show were pretty good. It started off with Gedo, Taiji, Ishimori, and Forastero versus Kushida, Ryusuke, Taguchi, and T-Time. The notes I had here is that the guy with the air horn he keeps blowing it. He keeps blowing it, but he keeps getting drowned out by the cacophony of crowd noise. So it's not annoying, but it is. I don't get why. How is that acceptable to have this an air horn just going throughout the whole show? Whatever. I wrote down here. I asked the question: is Forastero supposed to be a heel? The answer is yes, because he's team of Bullet Club. But I just thought it was weird that he gave a kid a shirt. It's like during this show, I noticed that they're interacting with the kids a lot, where they don't normally do in Kurikan, because I guess there's not really many kids in Kurikan. Why did I say it like that? But anyways, like on like the really smaller shows when there's like kids in the front row, they always interact with them, and there's a lot of that here. But anyways, in this match, it was Gedo wrestled better here. It wasn't like the first show where it was kind of like ugly to watch. I found it interesting that Taguchi kept pairing up with Ishimori and Kushida kept fighting with Gedo. Even though I know Kushida is leaving, and I guess they're going somewhere with Ishimori and Taguchi. But why not let Kushida fight Ishimori? He has something, like, even though he's not going to be here in a month, he still has, business to settle. He still want to get I would think he want to get his licks in and not with Gedo. Unless they're going for a meta thing. It's like, hey, Gedo, you didn't put me in Bullet Club, so now we should do, no, that's stupid. That's not what they're going for. I know that's not what they're going for. I just don't understand. Why is he not pairing up with Ishimori? Like, throughout the match, he kept fighting Gedo on the outside and whatever. Or he was getting beat up, rather. But the match ended off with Forastero hitting a spin-out slam and then tapping out Titan with a head and arm choke. It was an alright match. I don't have much to say about it. Then it was Fujin Raijin versus Shingo, Takagi, and Bushi. So I learned this doing some research, trying to make this review better. I don't think that's going very well because I'm very tired right now. Anyways, apparently Fujin and Raijin are showing yo, which I did notice that some of their moves were similar, but I don't know their bodies well enough to do the same thing I did with Desperado. Like, I know that torso from anywhere, but I haven't watched a lot of Roppongi 3K matches to have their bodies memorized, so I didn't realize it at first. But it all makes sense now that they're wrestling. They're doing like the same moves to some extent. They cut out a lot because I guess they're trying to stay in like a Fujin and Raijin characters. I don't know if that's supposed to be a secret or are we supposed to know that they're a Roppongi 3K. But they're also taking out moves in their moveset because these are basically house show matches, so they're not gonna go all out. And that basically describes this match. They didn't go all out. They it was just, some pretty basic stuff. And unlike the first match between Lij and Roppongi 3K under mask, this time Fujin was able to hit a Mahi Shra Cradle on Bushi and get the quick pin victory. It was a reverse of the last match. Bushi got a cradle on Fujin, I believe, in the first match, and like surprise victory because he didn't hit him with a finish. But just another match. Third one was Audas, Soberano Jr, and Angel Del Oro versus Namahage, Okumura, and Barbaro Cavernario. So thus far, I have been impressed with Barbaro Cavernario. I guess some of the words are wrong because not only these are Mexican wrestlers, I get the cards from New Japan World, and New Japan is translating it from their Mexican name to make it readable for Japanese viewers. But then I go on the website, and then I have Google Translate. So Google Translate is translating what they translated. So I just get this blended version that I might get the word like it's going down two spaghetti strainers of translation, and then I get that. So my phone just went off anyways. So if I get names wrong, that's why. I think I've been calling Templario. That's how you say it. I've been calling him Templarino because that's how it was translated in that process I just mentioned. But anyways, this match, and I was impressed by Angel Del Oro. Very athletic. He's fun to watch, and he did a handspring, like it's supposed to be a handspring into the ropes, but he didn't put his hands down. He just did a front flip, hands on his side. If his time was wrong, he would just land around his head. And for a second, I thought he did land straight on his head, like he did a head spring off the ropes and then did a move. But when they're making their entrances, I noticed that these luchadors seem pretty religious. Soberano did Father, Son, Holy Spirit, all that stuff. And Angel Del Oro, is wearing a cross, religious reference, all that, obviously. But anyways, I saw there was a spot in the match where Namahage kicked. I think it was Angel Del Oro. Angel Del Oro was pinning somebody, and Namahage kicked him right in the head to get him off the pin. And it looked brutal. If I slowed it down, it made me not look as bad, but it definitely surprised me how hard he kicked him in the head. But the match finishes off with Soberano Jr. hitting a tornillo, on Okumura. Okumura gets up, chases Soberano, gets kicked in the legs in midair, causes him to get caught in the second rope. And as he's stuck, Soberano hits a springboard moonsault and gets the pin off that move. It was a good match. I have to say, it was a good match. Then after that was Toa Henare and Satoshi Kojima versus Tetsuya, Naito, and Terrible. So this is Lij versus the Factionless Squad. And I'm like, okay, this is all New Japan. No, it's 3 New Japan guys and and Terrible. I wonder how this is majority New Japan guys. This is an opportunity to push something forward. They didn't do that in this bout, in terms of who gets pins on anyone. But in this match, they made a point, and I feel like this is the only point they're trying to make this match, that Henare has an immense fighting spirit, has great athleticism, and he's still not there in terms of, hanging with the top guys, So he did show fight up against Naito, but ultimately he ended up, getting beat up pretty well. And so that was the only thing that was really notable about the match. The match ended with Terrible hitting a Styles Clash on Henare for the pin. But before I move on to the next match, I know this has been his character for a long time, but I really appreciate how irreverent Naito can be, but he still shows kindness to the kids. And as he was walking down the ramp, or not much of a ramp, but as he was walking down the way to get to the ring, there was a grown man putting his fist out over over the barricade, and Naito just looks at him like, I'm not hitting, no, I'm not doing that. But he sees a couple kids, and he's like, he gets on down on one knee, you know, bang. He does it for the kids, and I can appreciate that. Be irreverent to everyone except kids, because kids are pure. You know, I can appreciate that. But again, Naito showing his, you know, irreverent character. Terribly holds the IC belt to the back. You know, he deserves to hold the belt. That's probably how Naito thinks. Hey, you got the pin, buddy? Hold my belt to the back. You're champion right now. So next match is Tiger Mask, Jushin Thunder Liger, and Caristico versus Templarino, Gran Guerrero, and Ultimo Guerrero. I want to say something about Caristico's theme song. Someone, I remember his name was like Poofy the dog, commented on the last video. I mean, he was the only one to comment. So he said that elevator music, quote unquote, that Caristico has is actually from his band. And I didn't go look into it, but I did you know, say that's a very interesting fact and all that. I think that's cool that he has a band and all that, but it still sounds like elevator music for one, and two, why is that song dubbed in though? Like, what is his theme song right now? Because I can kind of hear what's under it, but I don't see why you just can't play that music in the arena as well. I don't know. So if you're in Mexico and you're watching this show, do they have the same video feeds for y'all? I mean, I don't know if any of y'all from Mexico watching this video, but do they have the same video feeds where like you're watching it and you can, since you're living in Mexico, you know, copyright law, like they say they have the music, the theme music copyrighted just for Mexico, let's say, and you live there, do they make a point in letting y'all hear the music, or they're doing that for the Japanese and, you know, basically everywhere else audience? Like, I wonder if it's different, because there are some shows that you can only get if you're in certain regions. Like I couldn't watch the Super J Cup on New Japan World because I don't live in a certain region. Like they wouldn't, like if you live in America, they wouldn't let me watch it. I wonder, like they do the same thing with the music as well. Anyways, the story of the match was Gran, Ultimo, and Templarino are using their size advantage and the use of like triple teams moves to win the match, but one-on-one Tiger Mask, Liger, and Caristico were able to use superior athleticism to reverse big moves and to hit their own big moves. And the end of that story is favorable to the smaller team because they were able to get the three bigger opponents outside the ring. There were two of them outside the ring, and Caristico comes in, hits a La Mystica and a tilt-a-whirl armbar on Templarino to tap him out. So here we have a match of the family tag tournament. It was Atlantis and Atlantis Jr. versus Cutrero and Sanson. Now, as soon as I knew these people were in the tournament, I knew Atlantis was in the tournament, I knew he had to go all the way. I don't even care if he had to start shooting to win the matches. I don't care if he was booked to lose. He should have started shooting, using that old man strength, roasting people up, and go all the way to the finals. Because, you know, that's what I want to see. He's like one of the two people that I haven't seen before. Because I've seen like Dragon Lee and Volado before, and I love them. But out of new guys, I want Atlantis to win every match. But I'm weird like that. Honestly, that probably wouldn't be the best booking decision. So I'm not even going to waste time going over the story, the match, if there was one really. Sanson was able to get the pin on Atlantis Jr. with the Sanson special off the second rope. It was a spin out power bomb. It was a pretty even match, but I'm disappointed. Atlantis all the way, what can I say? So, Sanson and Cutrero come back later in the show. But I'll talk about that after this match. God damn it! So the main event of the evening was Dragon Lee and Mystico versus Flyer and Volador Jr. This was a very good match, as you can imagine if you know any of these guys' reputation, watch any of these guys' matches. Well, I don't know, I haven't watched Flyer before, but I have watched the other three before. And, you know, this didn't disappoint. Going in, I knew this was going to be awesome. And there was a couple of spots in here that really made me raise an eyebrow or two. Volador did like a tope through between the second and third rope, and it looked like he clashed heads. I think it looked like he clashed heads with Mystico, and they both looked like they were out of it for a second. And I'm like, oh my god, I hope they didn't really clash heads there, because that was like, he did a tope, headfirst tope into somebody's head, and I just couldn't. That concussion written all over, but I didn't read anything about even getting a concussion. But there was also a couple of vicious looking Canadian destroyers that surprised me. Did not see them coming at all. But all in all, the match ended with Dragon Lee hitting a Desnucadora on Flyer for the victory, and they advanced to the next round, which I wish they showed brackets of the tournament, because I would just like to know who was fighting next. Like, you have to, based on what I was getting, I'm only watching the shows and reading results to like kind of clarify what I'm going to say. And I'm not about to go on Reddit for someone's bracket. I want them to show me during the show, and they didn't do that, and I think that's pretty fucking dumb. And again, they didn't have English commentary, so maybe the commentators, the Japanese commentary, explained it. But what the fuck? I don't speak Japanese. That doesn't matter anyway, because I have faith that they're doing a tournament. It's not like I need to know, because in the end, I already know what the finals are going to be. So it's not that big of a deal. But I just find it kind of stupid not to show brackets for to give a visual aid for people who are English or even Spanish, because I don't know if they have a Spanish commentary option. If you speak Spanish, how would you know? Anyways, but whatever. It was a very good match, like I said. Mystico addressed the crowd. And they were cutting a promo, and then Cutrero and Sanson come out, and they exchange words on the mic. They probably said, "Hey, we're gonna fight you next, and we're gonna win." And then Dragon Lee was probably like, "No, we're gonna win." And then Sanson was like, "We'll see." And then Dragon Lee and Mystico were still in the ring, and Mystico addressed the crowd, and that was the show. Overall, it was good. I give it a thumbs up. It was just as good as the first show. It's harmless. It's not really. I mean, if you want to watch a good house show, a solidly wrestled, entertaining house show in your house, go ahead. But if you're strapped for time, kind of like I am, I wouldn't watch these shows. I would just tune back in for the new beginning shows. That's when things are going to get interesting again. Not to say that these are bad shows, but again, it's good wrestling, but it's nothing you need to see necessarily if you're strapped for time. If you have time and you want to just have 2 hours of good wrestling, I'm really just throwing more. It's simple. It's a good show. You don't need to see it though. Whatever. That's what it is. So Fantastica Mania. Why did I say it like that? So the next Fantastica Mania show was Friday, the day I'm actually recording this. Day 6, the third show that was streamed. The first match had the Gedo, Taiji, Ishimori, Templarino versus Jushin, Liger, Ryusuke, Taguchi, and Audas. And an important thing to mention is that this is the first show back in Kurikan, so maybe more substantive stuff is going to happen. But in terms of this show, it was the same. It was pretty much the same, There was one thing that was different, is that there was actually a one-on-one match between Barbaro Cavernario and Soberano Jr., I believe. Yeah, Soberano. This match was really good. Barbaro Cavernario, he had some really great looking moves. The backstabber, the code breaker, the dives. It was a really good match. I would say if you're gonna watch one match so far from these shows, it would be this one. It would be this and the Dragon Lee Mystico versus like their first tag match, Dragon Lee in the Family Tag Tournament. And the singles match is definitely worth people's time. It was fun, but it ended with Barbaro tapping out Soberano Jr. I don't know if he gets something for winning besides bragging rights, but goddamn, that was a really good match. But that wasn't even the main event, though. I know I'm skipping a bunch of matches, but the main event was Sanson and Cutrero versus Dragon Lee and Mystico. So, this second round of that tournament. And, yeah, there wasn't much. I didn't take any notes down, just kind of watching it. The match ended with the Snookadora on Sanson. Dragon Lee did that. Pin got the win. After the match, the Gran Guerrero and Ultimo Guerrero come out, and they probably said, "Hey, you're gonna face us. So, and when you do, we're gonna win." And then Dragon Lee was like, "Oh, is that right? Because I'm pretty sure that we're gonna win." And then the Guerrero was like, "You know what? There's only one thing that can solve this conundrum. Is the crowd is having a cheer off." And Dragon Lee was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" And then Guerrero, he started doing his type thing, and he tried to get the crowd going. And then Dragon Lee was like, no, it was not Dragon Lee spurring it on. It was Mystico. He was like, he grabbed Dragon Lee's arm, and he puts his arm, and they put both their arms in the air to say, "Hey, cheer for us now." And then they go back and forth, and Guerrero was like, they start doing the slap thing again, and then Mystico's like, "Cheer for us." And then it was like, you could tell that the people in the audience, they were cheering like equally for both. Like, it was the exact same people cheering both times. It was like, "Hey, hey, hey, hey." Okay, now they're done. Like, I don't know. They're pretty even in terms, like, they're both just as over, I would say. But I'm looking forward to that match. That should be a great match. So, I guess you could view these first 3 shows as building up to the last 2. If that's the case, that will make these shows worth it, I guess. But before I go on, let's go back and look at the first 5. Again, the first match was Gedo, Taiji, Ishimori, Templario. I always want to say Templarino versus Jushin Thunder Liger, Ryusuke, Taguchi, and Audas. It was an alright match. It was cool that Taiji got Taguchi in the crowd, and he got in front of some guy, and he told the guy, there's some random guy in the crowd, hit him. And the random guy, he gets his friend to grab his jacket, and then he just hits him, and Taguchi oversells it. And then Taiji brings Taguchi back in the ring, unmask him, and everyone knows what Taguchi looks like. And Taguchi was like, my face, my identity, they know what I am. So that was something, It wasn't much in the match. Audas wins by tapping out Templario with an armbar. So that seems pretty substantive and important. So I'm still just waiting for that Taguchi Ishimori match. Next up was Okumura, Forastero versus Angel de Oro and Titan. It was a pretty good match. Titan won for his team by pinning Forastero. I'm sorry. It had this match had fantastic dives that you can see down there. Hopefully, if I do this correctly. But I noticed after the match was won by what it seemed to be the face team. I mean, I guess Titan puts his hands on Okumura's lady, and it was pretty forceful too. And I'm like, this guy has to pay on the next show. I'm sure of it. But that was odd. Anyways, next up was Satoshi Kojima, Toa Henare, Fujin Raijin versus Tetsuya Naito, Terrible Bushi, and Shingo Takagi. Bushi came out with some pretty cool attire on. But one thing what they started out with was the Kojima, Henare, Fujin, and Raijin coming out. And this match is like a tribute to... let me see. I already forgot the guy's name. Let me look it up. Okay, this match was the annual Black Cat Memorial match. I don't know who the Black Cat is or what he did, but I feel like maybe this match wasn't worthy of him, of his memory. But you know what? They still went out there and tried. And after like Kojima and them posed with the lady, I'm guessing it was Black Cat's wife, maybe. It looked like Kojima was really touched, like it was really setting in or something. It looked like he was getting emotional, was my point. But anyway, the LIJ team comes out. They have a match. But I keep skipping around. During LIJ's entrance, they have that stupid dubbed-in music instead of having like what was actually playing in the arena. And I could kind of hear what was happening in the arena. I'm like, that's Kanye. I hear Kanye West's voice. And then I hear the beats. They're playing Black Skinhead. Terrible's theme is Black Skinhead. And I'm like, well, that would be a pretty good entrance song. But it's such... The thing about this is that it's almost anachronistic in a way. Even though it's all in our reality. It's all, contemporary stuff. But it's odd to see a Japan promotion have their venue filled with Mexican wrestlers, and the Mexican wrestlers theme song is an American rap song hit made by Kanye West. I don't know. It's just like a triangle of things that I wouldn't expect to be together, but they're all good. Kanye is a good musician most of the time. Terrible is a good wrestler, needs good music. And New Japan is a good place to host all that. So, you know what? I was fine with it. But anyway, back to the match. It was good. Henare gave a similar performance, showing that fighting spirit, athleticism. But then he gets his ass kicked. But this time, he doesn't take the pin. His team actually wins, with Kojima hitting the lariat on Terrible for the pin. There you go. And then, I think it was one of the Fujin or Raijins, somebody replying 3K, as he's leaving the ring area. He grabs the camera and just flexes his chest right into the camera for like a solid 15 seconds. It felt like that anyway. And then Kojima, as he's leaving, said, "Hey, come on, get off the camera." That was a fun time. Then the next match was, I don't know if this was... No, it couldn't be because Atlantis got eliminated. So this is just another tag match. It was Gran Guerrero, Ultimo Guerrero versus Atlantis and Atlantis Jr. And I had to note this down. The utter disrespect for Atlantis. He got a cheap shot right in the beginning, before the match even began, actually. And they tried to unmask him. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know who he is. I didn't know who he was before January 11th, 2019. This guy's a fucking legend in my book. If you could still go well into your 50s, you're a legend. You're doing something right. You're doing something right in my book. But anyways, I've been reading that Atlantis Jr. apparently has been looking good in these matches, but people are noticing that he's still green. And what I gotta say to that is, like, all I see is the green part. Like, I only see, like, he's been pretty okay. He's been good. Like, people are saying as if he's gonna be something big one day. I guess they probably are not wrong. But what I'm seeing right now is I'm not impressed. The other tag team partner, he seems like the real meat force of the team. But Atlantis Jr., he's all right. He's all right too. He might be something one day. The match ends with Gran Guerrero hitting a power bomb on Atlantis Jr. for the win. And overall, it was an alright match. Now, I have in my notes here that Namahage and Caristico versus Volador Jr. and Flyer is a tag tournament match. I don't know if I heard that in the Japanese announcing, or if I just put that down because I thought it would be. But I don't think it is. Because, they just got eliminated from the tag tournament. But with that being said, that means there's only 2 first-round matches. So it's not much of a tournament, is it then? Because I guess it's like a 2-round tournament. It's kind of like really uneven because there's 2 matches in the first round. Then there's going to be 1 match in the second round. And then there's going to be another match to be the finals. So it's kind of like, it's not even, obviously. But anyways, Caristico taps out Flyer for the victory. So that's fine. So I'm guessing here is that what I said, I think I said this before. I don't remember if I did. But the Family Tag Tournament is like those two matches that happened on the 16th. The winners of those two matches fought, today on the 18th. And then the winner, the supposed to be winner of this tournament, in the finals, they face the winner of last year's family tournament. So it makes sense that there be so little matches because, imagine a wrestling company that has that many different, family members in it. Like WWE couldn't do that. They have like hundreds of people in their roster, and they probably couldn't even do that. So I imagine that the tournament wouldn't be that big. Now I think about it, but so yeah, I'm looking forward to Dragon Lee and Mystico versus Gran Guerrero and Ultimo Guerrero, and that's the show. It was again good, enjoyable. I think it was a little bit more consequential, but maybe I shouldn't judge the show on consequence because not every show can be Wrestle Kingdom. And I'm not expecting that. I'm not expecting everything to be so super serious. It was a fun time. It's just personally, as I hit the table there, I'm tired right now, and I'm just having college just started back up again. This semester just started back up, and I'm really tired. And it was a slog getting through the last half of this last show today. And I wanted to get this review up Saturday morning, and I'm like, this isn't gonna be a good review if I do this tired. And I'm just gonna say, you know what, fuck it, I just gotta do it and give my thoughts. It's not gonna get any better if I wait another day. I don't think. I'm just gonna give my thoughts because I'm not gonna get better at this by holding off. I'm not gonna become a better reviewer by not doing it. So even better on the fact of this, you know what, I'm not gonna review these shows. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And it's not like, the last review got a bunch of views, but it got shit for watch time. So you know what, maybe I try something doing different. I try to be a little bit more loose with it. Maybe people will stay. Or maybe I'm just not that compelling. Maybe my lighting's bad. Maybe my voice sounds like shit. Maybe it's something I can't even control. Well, so be it. I reviewed these shows. I watched them. It was good. Hopefully this video was good for you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And hopefully the last two shows will be better. And I will make it a point to make the next reviews and all that come after that even better for you. Thank you for watching if you got this far. Thank you so much for spending your time either listening in the background, having me in a different tab, or watching the video like the madman you are, or woman. But thank you. I don't really want to talk about wrestling news right now, and I just want to end off with that. If you have anything to say in the comments, don't be afraid. I'll reply. But enough with the sign off. Thank you. Have a great day or a beautiful night. Goodbye.